Hello everyone, it's Kirsty. Okay, I've done this before, but I don't know if anybody's seen it. Maybe it's sort of gone to the bottom of the pile of videos, but here is a bunch of advertisements. Here's astro.com, and it's what I use for so much, but it's mainly what I use to do charts. So I'm going to show you how to go about it. Now, I have a bunch of charts in here. So let me find something. Okay. All right. So the first thing I want to do is show the more experienced person. Something flashed on my screen then. How to do a little more than just natal charts on here. So what you want to do is go into the extended chart selection. And then I've just got some random things here. So let's say we want to do a horoscope for this person. It's not a person, it's a time, but let's pretend it's a person. Now, this is exactly what I do, okay? So under drawing style, I always choose Liz Green style because it's white and I like it. If you wanted to look at transits, this is the area we'd use here, but we're not going to worry about that. Let's open up all of these areas. Okay, what you can do is modify your reference place as well. Now that's important. You need to check it and make sure that not every place is set to one place only. I mean, if you were born in England and then you have moved to Australia, like myself, my reference place now becomes Australia in my natal chart rather than England. So this should be looked at. Now, this is what I tick as well. Traditional deacons, aspects to Chiron, to all objects. I reduce my orbs by 85%, which makes them tighter. I include the part of fortune. So then we can just go back up. Okay, now say we don't want a natal chart. We want to just do our progressions. So we'll drop down in this list here and we'll see a giant list. Now we can look at our natal chart with our progressions or just our progress chart. So let's click that. Click here to show the chart. And then pretend that this is somebody like myself. And this is now the progressed chart only. And you can see that because it says progressions for the 5th of February. So that date in that box was important as well. But the birth time here is completely different. So that's just the progressions. Now you can do natal, transits and progressions all combined. And then if you want, you can go, okay, well, I want to have a look at the 29th of January instead. You change that date. Click here to show the chart. Transits and progressions for the 29th of January 2020. The progressions are in green on the outside here. The transits are in red. We don't use the transits for the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus or Mars because they move too fast. So we use the transits for the outer planets and progressions for the inner planets in this box here. Okay, now something else I want to do is just explain some more about this box down here. So let's just... I'm going to pause it for a minute. Okay, so I just moved it a bit. Now, don't worry about what this chart is. I'm just going to show this area here because I think a lot of people don't actually realise that this is indicative of what is here in this chart here. So here we can see the Sun natally on the inside of the wheel is at 22 degrees of Libra. Now there's three numbers here, so that's 22 degrees, 19 minutes, and 37 seconds. It's just a very exact degree. So at 22, we've got about 8 more degrees until it gets to the next sign, okay? So let's have a look. Where's the sun? It's up here at 22 degrees of Libra. The next sign is Scorpio. So in progressions, in roughly 8 years, this sun will be moved into progressed Scorpio. But anyway, I digress. So there's the progressed position and there's the transit position. This little R at the end here means retrograde. And these here, AC 2, 3, MC 11 and 12 are the house cusps. So the ascendant is the first house. And here it is, 26 degrees of Sagittarius. Now in here, they don't put the 7th house, which is opposite, because it's always exactly the same as the ascendant, but opposite. See, the descendant is 2612, just like the ascendant is 2612, but it's in Gemini, the opposite sign. The IC is at 2337 of Aries. So if we look down here, it says the MC, which is opposite, is at 2337 Libra. So that's opposite. So if we only have 6 house cusps here, but we have 12 house cusps in the chart, you just need to know that the opposite of each house is exactly the same degree, but a different zodiac sign. So opposite the ascendant is the 7th house, opposite the second is the 8th house, opposite the third is the 9th house, opposite the MC is the 4th house, opposite the 11th house is the 5th house, and opposite the 12th house is the 6th house. So it tells us every single degree. So the 6th house being opposite, there's Smudge, being opposite the 12th house at 7 Sagittarius, the 6th house should be 7 degrees Gemini. Here's the 6th house cusp, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 degrees of Gemini. It's not written there, but it's there. I'm so sorry. Okay, so let's just pretend that we want to do a synastry between two people, and these are the two people. We're going to go up to the top here, and the best way to do it, I think, is synastry chart with outer circle. Keep it on the Liz Green style. You have both of these active. Never mind that the partner one is always there. It's always going to be there. The only way that it'll show up is if you choose synastry. Okay, so we keep everything the same. Click it there. And now it's going to show us two charts. The red one is the chart on the bottom, and the blue one is the chart at the top. 1258, 1258, Pluto return, Pluto return. Now something else interesting I would like to show is just a natal chart, but in whole sign, to give people an idea of how the zodiac actually goes around the chart. Okay, in our extended chart selection, let me choose, oh my gosh, just, where am I? Well, I'm trying not to show all these people. This is private. Okay, this is me. All right. Now, I don't often do this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to pull up my own chart. Now I'm going to get rid of the details there. Here is my natal chart. Now, let's not dwell on what it looks like. There's a reason I want to show you it. And that is, I want to show aspects this time as well. Now this is called an aspect grid. It's representative of all of these lines in this chart here. Okay, so that's my normal natal chart. Now I'm going to go back. Now what I'm going to do is turn it into, with the house system, go to whole signs. Now Lisa, this is for you. Okay, it's for everybody, but let's see. Okay, so now this is a whole sign chart. So as we can see, it's not higgledy-piggledy. We've got all of Libra in there, all of Scorpio there. Everything's neatly, evenly distributed to 360 degrees. So at Libra, that's 0. So I'm going to go down here. Well, it says it's 22 because it's giving us our real one. But see, everything else is 0 here. So let's just pretend that we're at 0. There's my real ascendant, 22. But this is 0 Libra. And that goes to 29, 29, 29 of Libra. And then it moves into Scorpio. So we have 30 degrees, 60, 90, 120, 150. Got really confused then. 180, 210, 240, 270, 300, 330, 360. That's a full 360 degrees, including every zodiac. So when we're looking at aspects, we're looking at the distance between two particular areas. These red lines are most often squares, unless they are with opposite two planets like this. I have Chiron opposing Uranus. So they are directly opposite, which is 180 degrees away from each other. Directly opposite is always 180 degrees. I have a couple of interesting aspects here. My Sun is at 6 degrees of Leo, and it is trine Neptune at 6 degrees of Sagittarius, 657 and 656, so very close. Now, so 6 degrees Leo to 6 degrees Virgo is 30. Then 6 degrees Libra is 60. Then to Scorpio, it's 90. Then to Sagittarius, it's 120, which makes that a trine. So I have an exact trine between the Sun and Neptune. Same deal here between the Moon and Chiron. 26 degrees Saggy to 26 Capricorn is 30 degrees. To 26 Aquarius is 60. To 26 Pisces is 90. To 24 Aries is 118. So it's 2 degrees off of 120 again, which is a trine. And as you'll see here, I actually have a grand trine, which is a big triangle. So this is an easier way to see how each zodiac sign has 30 degrees. Just discussing this and seeing it, we can see that I have the Sun trining Neptune, the Moon trining Chiron. I have Mercury squaring Uranus. I have Venus conjunct Saturn, 11 and 12, very closely. So let's have a look down here in this aspect grid and see how that shows up. So you'll recall my Sun and my Neptune are trining, and there's the triangle, and it is at 0 because they are so close, there's no orb. And they're applying, which is what that A is. It means they're getting closer together. Mercury and Venus are conjunct. Uranus and Mercury are square. And these numbers here show us the orbs, or the degrees of difference. So whenever you see the zeros, you know that they're the closest aspects you have. My closest is the Sun trining Neptune with a 0-degree orb. And as you'll see here, the Sun is 656.14. My Neptune is 656.51. So it is so close, it's only off by seconds, which is at the very end. So that's very, very, very exact. Now, you don't see that too often. If you see two numbers that are exact, you know that they're going to be in aspect with each other. Regardless of where they are on the chart, they're going to be in aspect because they're within orb. So it's really important to know that you can check your aspects up here, down here. And then if you want to have a look at what these mean, you can get something off of Google or books. There's so much information, and that will tell you what a square, a trine, a sextile, a biquintile, which is what that is, a sesquisquadrant, a conjunction, an opposition. All of these things you can find out. Okay, so that's aspects in the chart and aspects in the aspect grid. This box here just shows us cardinal, fixed and mutable planets, and also fire, air, earth and water. So it puts them in the boxes where we have the most. Now, my predominant chart signature is cardinal water, which is Cancer, because I have Mercury, Venus, Saturn and the MC all in Cancer, although my Sun is a fixed fire sign of Leo. So whichever one has the most in is what you are predominantly. And as you'll see up here, I have all of that in Cancer, which actually is conjunct my Sun in Leo as well. It's a giant big stellium, but predominantly in Cancer. So that's what this box shows us. Okay, let's go back. Now, other charts we can see. We can look at relocation charts, and that's where you need to put in that reference place down here, your reference place. So if you were born somewhere else and you now live somewhere else, modify the data, click relocation chart. We'll see what brings up with mine. Okay, it's trying to relocate me to Brisbane, although I was born in the UK. So now look at my natal chart. It's a whole lot different because I live in Australia. So that's something to remember. I mean, look, it's actually flipped around. Now Cancer's at the bottom, which makes a whole lot of sense. So never forget relocation if you are living in a place you were not born. Okay, look, I hope that helps. It might just help give some people some idea of navigation and what we're looking at and how I set up my chart. So thank you very much for watching that, and I'm going to do another one on astro.com on how to set up an event chart from scratch. See ya!